Hi, now we are in the rubric number 3 functionality in the content changes section. We are looking at the situation where dynamic forms require to be created successfully based on set configurations. Now this is actually the creation of a survey and the fact that all the questions associated with the checklist or the survey based on the category should show up correctly. What I mean is we can continue to add as many questions as we want and tag it to a category based on our requirement or based on the changes that might come up eventually through the standard central governance team. And the admin does not actually have to work hard to create a new survey for an application because it is already tagged to a category. All the respective questions that have been tagged in, all the new questions should show up. So let's have a look at how it's working. We can start with the admin login here because they are the only folks who can get to create a survey. Let's pick an application to start with. So I'm just going down to the all applications details section to show you which application we might choose here. So let's go with the actuate data conversion. This is 7ADC. We need to remember the app ID to create the survey. It's owned by Sondra and it has just one category associated with it, SharePoint. So I'm just going to go in and work on creating a survey here. It's pretty simple. I just need to click on add a survey and select this app ID. So I'm going to just do that. Since it's SharePoint, there are very limited questions we have here. We have about 2 questions associated with SharePoint category from the checklist as of now. So I am expecting 2 questions to show up in this questionnaire. Oh, okay, we just have 1 question here. So our info path form still in use. That's the only question that we have for the SharePoint category. Now, I want to check if this actually makes a difference when I go back in and change the application category here and add something more than SharePoint. Would it generate the rest of the relevant questions in the form automatically? This is something that we can go through right now. We'll just have a look how it works out. We'll go to the all applications section. Again, we are admins, so we are able to make a lot of changes here. Had it been an owner, they would have not been able to edit the application changes. So I can go in here for the 7ADC app and update it. I'm just going to select Angular along with SharePoint and submit. So now I have 2 categories. Let's have a look at what would happen if I create a survey now for the same app 7ADC. There we go. So things have changed here. It does say 2 categories and there we go. So we have some questions associated with Angular and they are showing up now. This was the only question that was associated with SharePoint earlier. These 3 are associated with Angular. Was this upgraded to the new version? Was this upgraded to the Express and so forth? So all these are a part of Angular if you look at the checklist questions. So this shows that the forms are being updated dynamically based on a configuration that we had set. The configuration in this case is the question and the question being tagged to a category. So it's as simple as that. It's going by the categories and showcasing all the questions that we have tagged to that specific category. What would happen to older entries if we keep on adding new questions? The older entries would not change because they are considered to be nullified at the moment, because there are 2 ways to go about this process wise. The admin could choose to delete those older surveys or basically mark them as invalid. That is something that the admin would have to remember to do. All the same, the working of the site would not be affected because the final compliance status for any application is always calculated by the last updated survey, and the live surveys are the ones that would be updated last and not older versions of it. So the compliance is always being measured by the latest update, and which is going to definitely have the new questions that have been added in or the new category that has been put in. So that's how process wise this would be implemented.